Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you are all doing fine. Today we are going to start dealing with unit number 3, modal verbs. Before starting, this lesson is just a brief introduction on some formal aspects you must be careful about before practicing with modal verbs. Let's start by providing a brief definition of modal verbs. Modal verbs are special auxiliary verbs with a great variety of communicative functions. That is to say, modals provide further information about the main verb that follows them, and in addition, they set a tone for the whole sentence. They indicate mood and also attitude of the speaker. Modal verbs behave irregularly. There are certain rules that you must be aware of and that will be explained now. Number 1, they are not used with auxiliary verbs. It's incorrect to say in questions, do you can speak English? And it's correct to say, can you speak English? It's incorrect to say, you don't should tell anyone, and it's correct to say, you shouldn't tell anyone. Number 2, they are accompanied by the base form of the verb, that is to say, the bare infinitive. For example, it's incorrect to say, I must to go, but it's correct to say, I must go. Number 3, they don't change to agree with the subject. That is to say, they don't follow the rules for present and past tenses formation. For example, it's incorrect to say he can't come, and it's correct to say he can come. In the same way, it's incorrect to say he can't come, but it's correct to say he could come. Number 4, they don't stand alone in a sentence. Generally speaking, they need to be combined with other verbs. For example, it's incorrect to say I should my homework, but it's correct to say I should do my homework. Exception to this rule are the following cases. Number 1, short answers with can, and number 2, in cases where the verb reference is clear. For example, I know you are not telling the truth, but you should. Should is making reference to tell the truth. Rule number 5, modals do not have tenses. They have present, past, and in some cases, future forms, not tenses. Be careful about that. And number 6, the meaning of modals changes depending on use. Meaning also depends on whether the expressions are used in positive, negative statements, and also questions. For example, I can open it is a sentence expressing ability. He can't have opened it. That sentence is expressing certainty or impossibility. And finally, can you open it? That question is making a request. Finally, modal verbs are different from modal-related expressions, also known as semi-modals. Modal-related expressions are multi-word constructions based on auxiliary verbs and that include the preposition to in most of the cases. Modal-related expressions have a similar function to that of modal verbs, but different and sometimes fixed forms. Some characteristics of semi-modals are the following. Number 1, some of them respect the rules of agreement. For example, he has to come to the party. Number 2, sometimes they need auxiliaries for questions and negatives. For example, do you need to do that? In questions, you don't have to come. In negatives. And finally, some of them have present, past, and in some cases, future forms. Having said this, we will group modals in 5 modals and also modal-related expressions in 5 big categories. However, we will introduce them in a new lesson. Thank you all for your attention, and I hope you have a nice day.